Alright, for the last few months, I've been tracking updates about Comet 3i Atlas, as has everybody else, unless you've been living under a vacuum, in a vacuum, whatever you've been doing. I've got three things to raise, 3 points. Number one, I've looked at the publications on the comet and have analysed the data about the luminosity and colour of Comet 3i Atlas. Number two, I've noticed that music in the form of urban and contemporary rap music genres can be extracted from the dataset I was looking at. Number three, I started to write this music down using modern studio software, and well, here we are. Yes, you won't believe it. First of all, anti-numerologists, please, you're in the wrong crowd. Excuse yourself, cough once and leave. Thank you. Now, back to those who's been following the story so far. On the 20th, which is 2 days from now, I received another still video. Let me show you now. I'm going to treat it with a 44.4, the new multiplier that we're using now. I'm just going to carry on the story as it comes. And that's where I am now. That's what I'm going to use to figure it out. Right. Just after making my last video, I thought, let me check up on the news currently. And then I think I was watching Fox and then the video just froze in time. If you look at the screen over there, I think you're gonna find that's the video that I'm talking about. As you can see, I'm recording it on my set. You can see the pause sign, so it's in play, and 5, 6, 7 seconds the pause sign is still there, but it's in play, but it's stuck in the same place. Yeah, if we look to see what time it's stuck on, it's 0:36 out of 16.41. yeah, trust me, I was saying that in the video. You can hear it now. Oh, it won't play. 036 1641. Still frozen.
Oh, started again.
And it started again. Yeah. So for a full, let me count 29 shit. Let me see when it starts playing again. You can see the little circle going round. It's definitely stuck. Yeah.
See the date?
Yeah, it's definitely stuck.
41. It's still frozen as I'm
definitely stuck.
Oh,
no, it was 25 seconds.
I didn't touch nothing.
25 seconds from when I started recording, that's when it snapped back. So, when shit like this happens to me, I don't panic. I don't run around like headless chicken and that. What I do is put my scientific hat on and try to spot the pattern. Now, I'm using 44.4. It was 4.44, but now it's moved on to 44.4. So, I put the date in real quick. Let me show you what happened. Obviously, that was a couple of days ago, so there's not many more events that I can compare it to that's happened. So, 20th of February 26 is when it happened, and the timestamp on the video. With the timestamp on the video, I can show it to you now. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. There it is. It was 09:35:08 was the time. Yeah, right. That's the time, and I put the exact time that I pressed stop on the video. And I put that as the next event. Now I have 7. Are those trumpets, I guess? I don't know. For me, since
this experience of the 3i Atlas music, I've realized that the magic multiple is 10. The 10th multiple of whatever I'm doing, I'm gonna check. The 10th multiple of 44.4 when added to the 20th of February 2026 will give you the date of 10th of March 2026. Right, we're gonna have to come back and check to see what happened or what is going to be predicted to be happening on the 10th of March 2026. It's now 22nd of February, so we're nowhere near 10th of March 2026. So the first thing that I wanted to predict, to see if my formula can be used for this, and this can be used to predict things. I thought it must be linked. It's somehow connected to the 3i Atlas thing that we're doing. So if it is somehow connected to 3i Atlas, then it should be able to predict the next major event that we can predict ourselves is the perigove of 3i Atlas. That's when it reaches Jupiter. So, and to my surprise, well, I'm not really surprised anymore. I'm not really surprised anymore. It did predict the perigove of 3i Atlas, which is the 16th of March. 16th of March is a 13th multiple of 44.44, 44.44 times 13 added in hours, added to the 20th of February 2026, you should get 16th of March 2026. That's the 13th multiple. Back to the 10th multiple, because like I said, I'm always gonna be checking those for anything as it comes. That's how we're gonna go on. So with me, I went online and I asked myself, how do we begin to make any sense of what's happening? I put it in on Google search, AI overview came up. I asked it, let me read it out. What are the predicted major astronomical events of 10th of March 2026? The following, that's what came up. Let me read it out. For 10 March 10, 2026, the primary predicted astronomical events involve a close pairing of the moon with a red giant star, along with ongoing visibility of several planets and comet activity. Here are the major astronomical events predicted for March 10, 2026. 1. The Moon and Antares. The Moon and Antares conjunction. The waning gibbous moon will be close to Antares, the red supergiant star in the constellation Scorpius. This conjunction offers a striking color contrast visible to the naked eye. It's an opportunity for telephoto photography. I don't even have a telescope or anything like that. But if you do, then telephoto photography would be ideal if you want to catch moon and Antares conjunction. Then there's the lunar occultation of Antares. That's on the 10th of March as well. Occultation means when something's blocking you from seeing what's behind it, obviously. So, same thing. Some areas in the Southern Ocean and surrounding islands may see the moon pass in front of occulting Antares. That's what's going to happen. Then, on the 10th of March, the same moon we're talking about here is going to be at apogee. The moon at apogee. That's when it's farthest away from the Earth. The moon will reach its farthest point from Earth in its orbit. That's called apogee. Apogee is in the 10th of, which is the 10th multiple of 44.4 added to the 20th of February 2026. Apogee of the moon. This is getting personal now because that's our satellite. I also told you that our woman can't live anywhere else in the universe but Earth because all the timing signals, or there's timing systems and constituencies based on what happens with the moon and the sun, and the earth. The moon somehow controls the menstrual cycle, so unless you find somewhere else that's got the same setup as where earth is, our females will not be able to cope with living in them parts. Yeah, so that's what's going to be happening then, in terms of what's happening in the sky, what we think based on the science that we have. Yeah, right. So that's the type 2, type 3 and onwards conversation. But what about the type 1? What's going to be happening on Earth? What do we predict? What can we predict with a high degree of certainty? Yeah. So one good piece I found was on the World Meteorological Organization website. Yeah. It's a piece on the global seasonal climate update for March, April, May 2026. Yeah. Just to get acquainted with the terminology before we read the chapter, the paragraph that pertains to March, April, and May, but I'm more interested in March because I'm looking for the 10th. Yeah, we'll read out 3 paragraphs and then see if you can hang with me as I read the next one. Nothing much is happening, I think. From November 25 through January 2026, global sea surface temperatures, that's what are called SSTs, sea surface temperatures, yeah, remain broadly above average. With the exceptional oceans in both hemispheres, with the extratropical oceans in both hemispheres exhibiting pronounced warmth. In the equatorial Pacific, SSTs east of the dateline stayed below average and maintained their amplitude. Consequently, Niño indices remain in weak La Niña territory without significant fluctuation. Despite these near-average anomalies in the central and eastern equatorial Pacific, enhanced east-west SST gradients sustain coupled ocean atmosphere signals characteristic of a weak La Niña. This was most evident in the observed rainfall anomalies. In the Indian Ocean dipole, that's called the IOD index, remained in a negative phase. This was primarily driven by sustained above normal SSTs in the Eastern Indian Ocean, near Indonesia, though their intensity has begun to decline. Within the Atlantic Basin, SST anomalies in the North Tropical Atlantic NTA and South Tropical Atlantic STA remained slightly above average, while significant warmth persisted across the extratropical North Atlantic. Yeah, now you understand what SSTs are, what the IOD index is, and what an NTA and STA are. We can move on. Yeah, this is what's gonna happen to the ocean currents and them thing there. Yeah. Outlook for oceanic drivers for the next season. For the March to May, that's the one we're interested about. For March to May, it's called 2026 season, forecast for SST patterns indicate a period of transition across equatorial Pacific. Below average SST anomalies in the central and eastern equatorial Pacific are forecast to weaken, signaling a move toward ENSO neutral conditions as a result of weak La Niña dissipates. Despite this oceanic warming, persistently above average SSTs in the Western Pacific are expected to remain an east-west temperature gradient. This gradient is likely to continue, reinforcing La Niña-like atmospheric responses. In the Indian Ocean, the IOD index is projected to weaken from its recent negative state towards near average conditions. Meanwhile, the Atlantic basin is expected to remain generally warm. SSTs in both North and South Tropical Atlantic are predicted to stay slightly above normal, maintaining a broad trend of above average Atlantic warmth observed over the preceding seasons. So the water currents, they're doing quite a lot of things there. I don't know what they call, I mean, you can't really say that things are normal. Maybe over 10 years and something changes. They're observing those. Yeah. So that index, the IOD index, is in a negative state. Yeah. But it's near average conditions. Yeah. But the warmth, SSTs patterns, conditions in both North and South are slightly above normal. Yeah. I told you what the SSTs are. Those are the sea surface temperatures. Yeah. Right. Hold on. There's something else I wanted to add here. Let me see if I've covered it now. Yeah. Well, there's a weak La Nina. Yeah. And there's rainfall anomalies. The rain is falling in very abnormal ways. That's what it was doing up to January. Okay. Yeah. It's kinda a bit warmer than average. Yeah, but it's near average anomalies, so it's not that bad. Yeah. Some are above average, some are below average, so that's not too bad. Yeah. Anyway, let's read about now other events. For this date, the one I've chosen to talk about is the 20th of February. This is the date itself when I got the video to freeze like that. It was in the morning, 9:35 in the morning on the 20th of February. So what will cause my shit to freeze like that? I haven't checked the earthquakes. But we didn't get nothing massive happening a couple of days back. It wasn't anything over 6.5, if even 6. So if we go back to the 20th, when I received the video itself, I don't normally do this. I never did this for the other ones. I might have done for a couple of them, the ones that were predicted by a previous one or something. Right. Let's look at what was happening in the world a couple of days back. Yeah. Let's see what we can find. Arts and culture. The Sagrada Familia in Barcelona, Spain, reaches its design height of 172.5 meters. That's 5.66 feet. After beginning construction in 1882, ahead of a completion of the remaining building expected later in 2026. They've been building that nigger for over 150 years or something. Okay, so that's a good thing, I guess. Yeah, they reached a milestone high. Yeah, 566 feet, I think. Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, disasters and accidents. Oh dear, there's always something funny about it. Let's see. This was a couple of days back. Let's see. 7 people, yes, that's 7, including a pregnant woman. 2 children are injured, and 7 people are killed, including a pregnant woman. 2 children are injured and 3,000 are displaced in 3 landslides in the provinces of Davao Oriental and Davao de Oro, Philippines. Yeah, that was 7 killed. 7 Chinese tourists are killed. Yes, I said 7. After their van sinks into a frozen over section of Lake Baikal on Okhon Island, Kursk Oblast, Russia. One person managed to escape the vehicle and reach the surface. An investigation into criminal negligence and safety violations opened up. Yeah, that's good. It's got to be done. I mean, what the hell caused that? 7 people are killed. Yes, I said 7 again. That's 3 times now. Yeah, and 2 others are injured in a collision between a van and a truck in Valsad district, Gujarat, India. Yeah, so that caught my eye a bit. And the other thing that happened in terms of tragedies, 5 people are killed, another is injured, and power outages are reported during a major snowstorm in Linz and Triciro, Austria. Don't know if I pronounced that right. Health and environment. The French Agriculture Ministry authorizes the culling of around 200 wolves. I never knew they still had wolves in Europe. I thought they were all cities and they died out. But they had 200 wolves, and now they're raising the annual removal limit to 21% of the estimated population of over 1,000 animals. Oh, they still got 1,000, with a possible increase to 23%, citing rising livestock losses as wolf numbers expand into agricultural areas and regions near major cities. That's what I thought. Those are city wolves. So I don't know what to make of that. But there's 3 kind of what you call accidents where 7 people die. Now, recurrence. The recurrence 777 I've never covered that, but that's a recurrence of 777 right there. Like, I won't read anything else because I don't do international politics, because people are touchy about their things. And you don't want men in black suit and them ones to turn up. Because then you start interacting with those, and before you know it, you're wearing black suits and glasses, and they start to mistake you for one. You become what is hunting you. Yeah, the hunter becomes the hunted, and the hunted becomes the hunter. Yeah. Oh yeah, I had another anecdote. Yeah, maybe why we keep seeing coincidences like this. Yeah, I don't mean to glow, but I think this one is pretty bright. You can patch it with mathematics. I won't, because like my ballpark estimation of things is not generally right, and I done a ballpark, an initial check in the background of reasoning in the databases that we have, and I think I'm right about this one, because everybody's been talking about the same stuff, and it's been roughly generally the same way that I think about it. If you are in existence now, it's kind of mixed with Schrödinger, the cat experiment that he done. If you're in the existence now, then most of your attention is right here, right now. You're also everywhere in the universe that's ever existed at the same time, but you're just not as aware of it as you are with us now. Yeah, which means if you are living in 1960, let's say 1965, because I can rhyme that better. If you was living, let's say, in 1965, and that means you're also in 2025 at the same time, but you're just not aware of that. You're there, every other person is there, the earth is there, because think about it like this, yeah? Where the earth was in 1965, yeah, and where the earth is now, these are 2 different places. The place where the earth is now, yeah, this place was here in 1965. It's just the earth wasn't there, to those of us who realize this one. But I'm saying it was there. So there are many layers. All the time that's been existing is here now. Yeah? But the one we're most concerned with is the one that we can do continuity with a timeline in our head. Yeah? But all the different timelines are also here at the same time. So people, there's an earth here that's made up of the earth that was in 1965, but it's underneath what we're visualizing now. So I suppose if you meditate, you can slip into this earth. It's an interdimension to the one that we're in now. You know, I know this to be right because I've experienced quite a few things, glitches if you like. Yeah, one time, yeah, maybe I had what I call physiological dyslexia. It's a different one. You know, when you have sugar and you put it in a fridge and then you get milk and you put that in the cupboard, That's physiological dyslexia. That's what I call that. So when you get that, we'll come to that. So one time I was going to a public toilet. It wasn't really public, but yes, it was. I could call it that. I walked in, done my business, washed up, and I must have gone into some kind of physiological dyslexia, because like it's a public toilet, it doesn't lock on the outside, but for some reason, well, mine at home does. I could do that so, if I wanted with a key or something. But anyway, so in my head, finished washing my hands, yeah, went to the door and locked it back, yeah. But here's the issue. When I turned round to lock it back, it had already been locked. The lock had already come out. So the door couldn't actually go back because it had been locked. But if it had been locked, how did I get outside then? Right. During the time when I was washing my hands about to come outside, on the other side of the door, on the outside, yeah, the me, Schrodinger's cat we're talking about, the me that was on the outside at the same time as the me that was on the inside, somehow got confused. Don't ask me. I told you I got physiological dyslexia. That's what I thought. But why did I attempt to lock it back? That's what confused the whole thing, because that doesn't happen with respect to that. So must have switched places somehow. I don't know. But I found myself pulling the door back to close it, thinking I'm gonna lock it afterwards. But as I was pulling back to close it, it was just banging on it. It was banging on it because the lock had come out. So if it had come out, how did I open it in the first place? I'm washing my hands. The next thing, I'm locking it back, and it can't lock. But I remember thinking that I have to turn back and lock it. But I never. How did I come outside for it? So the time and the place is relative. So you are everywhere, anytime, at the same time, but most of you is here. Yeah. So the next layer could be anytime. You can tune in to the world in 2025 in 1965. Does that make sense? Because in 1965, the people in 1965 were here, but to us now, they're in a sub-layer. If you could connect to that, that's where it was in 1960, when it was 1925 to them. I'm working on a theory. I think I'm trying to trip you up. Enjoy this track. I'm done.